talk loud because the camera is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. My name is Femi Lawson, FEMILAWSON.
Consent to us using your information. Consent to us using your information.
Oh, I consent to you guys using my information.
Okay, so the first question is based on.
I feel that there needs to be more done. I think in the downtown core, there's a lot of facilities to help deal with trauma and stress due to the demographic here. But I feel like in other priority neighborhoods, such as the Jane and Finch neighborhood and other priority neighborhoods, there needs to be more put in place. I feel like those communities, they deal with stress in different ways. Sometimes not taking it into their own hands, and it can be very detrimental. So I definitely think that there's a need for more places like that. But the use of like after-school programs and places where youth can vent in a safe space are also some kind of signs of like stress relieving like tools. And I feel like if implemented right, and if the program money is used correctly, I feel like it can also help to kind of reduce the amount of youth facing stress and things of that sort.
About the education system, do you feel that youth today are fully educated? For example, do they have the life skills? Do they know about their culture, things like that? Or are they just educated through math, science?
I feel that the education system needs to encourage more of a multicultural curriculum where youth feel that they are part of something, where youth feel that instead of teachers looking at them as, oh, you come from so and so area, and teaching them in a way that they're just trying to push them through. I think more needs to be done around not only kind of teaching the material, but actually making sure that the youth understand the material. I feel that with, especially in a lot of marginalized communities, there's a lot of overpopulated classrooms. So therefore, that one-on-one connection where you're able to tell if a youth is understanding the material kind of gets pushed aside. And as a result, you're seeing a lot of the youth kind of, they're going through all these grades and then realizing in grade 11, oh my gosh, this youth can't even read. Or, the literacy test comes and it's like the failing rate is like crazy. It's like, how did you get to grade 10 if you didn't even know, if you don't even read at a grade 4 level? So I feel like more needs to be done in order to allow youth to kind of pass through the education system and understand the material that they're learning, definitely.
So how about politics? Do you think youth are engaged politically? Do you think they're interested in it? Do you feel they're not? And what have you done?
I feel like they're not interested in politics mainly because they don't really see representation of the leaders within people in their communities. I feel that with politicians, most of the time that they come to the neighborhoods is only when, they need votes or they're trying to rally around, coming to a, at-risk community and, for the newspapers. And I honestly feel that more needs to be done in that sense to kind of get youth involved in politics, because at the end of the day, the youth are the future, and we can dictate how we kind of want the scope of Canada to look like, 20, 30 years from now. So I definitely think it's something that needs to be kind of ingrained more in the youth at a young age, so that by the time they get to the age of voting, they're excited to vote rather than, oh yeah, well I can vote, but I don't do it anyway,
And in terms of your community that you're in right now, do you feel safe? And do you feel that people in your community feel safe? Do you feel like they're treated equally by the justice system, by police?
Personally, I live in North York community, grew up in the Jane and Finch community, and there's always going to be racial profiling. There is, I am, as a black male myself, I've been stopped a lot of times, for random reasons, and I've definitely been profiled. However, I feel that, many youth, instead of using that as an excuse, they use it as motivation to kind of start their own group. So I'm seeing a lot of grassroots organizations being started up. More and more people from my community are starting to write grants and get involved in, just being very active in the community. And I feel like if you're active in your community, as a result, you're going to see your community change. You're going to feel safe in your community. Those who probably wouldn't associate with certain groups will say like, oh wow, this is a great organization, let me know more. And eventually you'll see that, oh wow, the community is very, intact. Everyone kind of is getting along, and even though a lot of the barriers such as criminalization of a lot of the youth and racial profiling goes on, with the help of grassroots organizations, we're kind of building that solid front to be like, what, this is occurring, but we're not going to let it affect us. And I feel that that's a very solid, strong thing. All right, thanks.
For that.
No problem. So what is this for?
We're starting a youth opportunities hub at the Dundas, just over there.
You guys apply for grants?
It's a long story how we got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Segan knew a guy. He has a yeah, it's a TV channel, and he rents out the space. So we did a partnership. So basically, we're gonna do like media, TV production, music production, stuff
Well,
like
I
that.
had a similar opportunity with
Yeah.
how you heard of Dolabox television, but yeah, so he was telling me he wanted us to start programming and stuff too.